What's going on, guys? Gitchy1230 here with more Grand Theft Auto 5, and today I'm giving you a quick analysis of the gameplay trailer that was just released. I'm not going to go extremely in-depth here, but we are going to pause it and break it down and look at the some of the finer details, but at a later date I'm going to have very in-depth looks at certain parts of the video, so of course subscribe if you would like to see more of that, but we're going to get started here. So, looking here at the first scene right here, this is the same scene we saw in the first trailer, and this is the first of the gameplay that we were seeing. That helicopter flying overhead, and the first of the scuba diving happening in person as well, and that looks great, as I hoped. And here's a trailer park out in Blaine County. Now this looked great. You've got some bikers riding by, and I assume this is where Trevor lives, right in this little neighborhood, if you could call it that.
In a number of ways.
And there's the first video, or the first footage of flight that we are seeing, and as it goes by, the plane looks great, and pausing here, this just looks incredible. I mean, the reflections in the water, off the plane, the sun flare in the lens, and all the map, and the rainbow to the right side. Oh my god, this looks incredible, guys. This looks way better than I even thought. And the handling on the plane, it just looks like it just floats right through the air. It's perfect. And then you have Trevor driving a speedboat quickly through the water. And here you've got some advertisements up on the buildings here. Looks like it says hookah up there, and not too much going on here. This is a great view of the map. Obviously, this is above a mountain, and it looks like if you look at the top of the mountain, there's a shed at the top of it, or some other square object, so I'm assuming that's a shed. That's what it looks like. And you can see to the right, down below, that the landscape just looks awesome. It looks incredible, right along the shoreline there, so that is very cool. And here's one of the more expensive stores, and here is the first footage of driving. This is Trevor in his truck that I think is named Betty or something like that, and driving through Blaine County, and the driving looks awesome. The view looks good. I know in Grand Theft Auto 5 I was always messing with my view because I could never get it to do what I wanted to do. I had to hold it in a certain position. I'm hoping they fix it this time around. So let's keep on rolling here. You've got a drunk hobo stumbling there. Maybe he's high on meth or PCP, but a bunch of homeless people here.
An untouched wilderness.
And this, I freaked out at this part. You know, this is a swamp, obviously, with, or at least a field, maybe not a swamp, but confirmation of deer. And then the next scene even freaked me out even more, or one of the scenes. Alright, we're gonna go back here a little bit. The scene wasn't as soon as I thought it was, but you got some four-wheeling here, and over here you can see some deer. They're a little bit blurry, but that is what they are.
Woods.
And this kind of looks like the one screenshot that we saw where it is looking in the same area. You got the same bridge in the background and everything. That looks awesome.
And the ridiculous.
And this guy, I'm not totally sure what this is. This looks to be some sort of like anime convention or something. Something of the sort. It's kind of funny if you look in the bottom right. That is clearly supposed to be Master Chief. You know, it's not a direct ripoff, but that is clearly a Spartan from the Halo series, so shout out to them. And bottom left as well. I just saw one over there. So, just noticed that. And you've got this overweight superhero guy fighting whatever this guy's supposed to be, so that's funny.
Greed and hypocrisy.
Some of these architectures here just look awesome. This really came out well. You've got a couple of businessmen hanging out over here.
Exactly what you want. And I will very carefully explain to you why it cannot be. What?
That's probably someone that you work with along the way to do some crime. You can see his picture on the wall behind him. Employee of the something. Employee blah. I can't tell what that says, but that's not really too important. So, an introduction to the world. Grand Theft Auto 5. Here we go. That was the little introduction there.
We're working, amigo.
For the first
So, let's see here. You can see blueprints and a wonderful explosion coming up here. There you go. One thing that I thought was interesting, no one even acknowledged the explosion, which isn't a huge deal. Maybe they're just that used to it that they don't even look anymore when a car explodes, but, you know, I would think that they would at least look in that general direction.
3 would-be heroes.
Now what?
Michael.
So you have Michael hanging out on his couch at home, and this really shows you how dysfunctional his family really is. His son's about to start yelling at him.
You're a real asshole. What did you just say to me?
And I really like the facial expression here. Like, I imagine that if someone was screaming at me, if my kid was screaming at me, calling me an asshole, and I was walking towards them, like, that is the exact expression I'd be making. So the facial expressions in this look pretty darn good, considering the technology that they used.
Stop it! You're ruining my yoga!
And there's his daughter just being a spoiled whore, but that's whatever. Franklin being a badass, of course. Clearly the color of the gang here is green. That is the general theme here.
And morons.
And look behind him, you can see Chop following him, and this is of course real gameplay footage, so you know that you can have Chop following you. Chop looks to be on the minimap as an icon behind the main triangle pointer thing for Franklin, but hopefully we can stick Chop on people. That would be awesome. And of course you've got the atomic blimp up there above the building, so that all looks awesome. And here's Lamar wearing his green Los Santos hat and also necklace. And he's got some neck tattoos going on and everything. This part I laughed out loud at. This is Trevor trying to flush a foot down the toilet as explosions of like shit and dirty water and everything spray out. That gave me a good laugh.
The better.
And that yell at the end, that was just priceless. I genuinely laughed out loud at that. And you've got a broken mirror there above the toilet. Like, this guy really just lives like a pig.
Introducing 3 lead characters transforms both.
So this flag looks great. The helicopter looks awesome. You have Trevor flying it, and looks like Michael maybe suspending himself. And looking here, we can see that this is an actual pause of a mission. It says rappel down to the agency office window, and it says use the left analog stick to rappel. I said rappel the first time, I'm sorry, rappel. And jump by pressing X to descend faster, hold X after jumping for a longer jump. So that gives you some of the mission mechanics, an idea of it. Taking a guy hostage here. And one thing that I thought was interesting here is in the bottom character slot it says 83 days. Now that could be a multitude of things. That could be how many days until Grand Theft Auto Online launched at the making of this video, but probably more likely that is a total of in-game time played. I'm thinking it's probably going to keep track of your total hours and days played on GTA Online, and also here you can see the rest of the stats: special, stamina, shooting, strength, stealth, flying, driving, lung capacity. Shooting is the highest here, and it looks like lung capacity or strength are the lowest at the time. So it'll be cool to see how we can raise those. And the character switching, look at that. That was so fluid, that was so fast, so smooth, so that was awesome. So Franklin is posted here with a sniper. You can see his rounds in the top right, right up here. And look in the mini-map, of course, you've got the enemies and everything, and he pops off a quick headshot on him. Now, one thing I noticed is that this is made from PlayStation and Xbox 360 footage from both consoles, because at one point it says, or maybe PlayStation, I don't know. Maybe forget what I just said. I want to make sure that I'm 100% correct on that before I tell you guys that. So, moving onward. Another character switch here. Very nice and smooth. This time it is Michael shooting through here. The shooting mechanics just look great.
This helps to get
And they're
new levels
flying away with this guy. And this shooting just looks awesome here. I mean, this looks so, as I keep saying, just so fluid and smooth and great. And the minimap in the bottom there looks totally awesome. So, flying away now. Gotta point out the provocative ad. It's good to see that those are back. You've got a close-up of a woman's vagina, pretty much, so that's rather silly. So here, this is a medical marijuana shop, a weed dispensary. It says multi-chambered water pipes, vaporizers, nanopipes, and sublers, whatever. And so this tells you that you can smoke weed in the game, because this is in-game footage, and walking out of the dispensary, he is like, you can tell he likes what he's got there. So I'm strongly assuming that you can smoke that weed. You know, I'd be really surprised if you can't.